So good afternoon. My name is Katia Velez, and I will be talking about my Capstone project that focuses on the impact that AI-powered chatbots have on mental health care. First, I would like to introduce you to the topic and present the current state of mental health in Canada and how AI-based applications can help. Then I will review the stakeholders and current regulatory frameworks. And lastly, I will present my policy options and my recommendation. So today, more than ever, we are surrounded by technological advancements that have integrated into human life. As these advancements grow alongside our understanding of mental health and its impact, so do the demands calling to integrate technology into the healthcare system so that we can benefit from improved access and quality of service from both the healthcare and the mental health care systems. So I want to start by talking about the current landscape of mental health in Canada. Statistics indicate that about 1 in every 5 Canadians can experience mental health challenges, or illnesses any given year. Children and teens and Indigenous people are especially vulnerable to these challenges and therefore require extra attention and care. The most common conditions are anxiety and mood disorders such as depression or bipolar disorder. Sadly, about 11 people die by suicide in Canada every year. As we see, mental health challenges and illnesses are quite prevalent. However, due to identified barriers to care, only about 56% of those in need have access to it. It is important to highlight, I'm having technical issues. Anyways, this lack of care is important to address as it results in worsened symptoms and prognosis. Lastly, it is important to mention that according to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health Illness, the cost of mental illness cost the Canadian economy close to $80 billion last year. This estimation accounts for loss of productivity, healthcare costs, and other direct costs. All of these indicators showcase how important it is to find efficient and effective measures to address the mental health needs of Canadians. So today, AI is already showing promising advancements in the prevention, detection, diagnosis, and treatment of mental health conditions. As you may already know, AI can be difficult to define, but it is generally understood as a combination of sophisticated computer science with robust data sets to create technology that displays capabilities such as self-learning patterns, informed predictions, problem-solving, and decision-making abilities. While there are a lot of applications that are still in the research and development phase, AI is already being used to provide support on a variety of administrative tasks, implement computerized adaptive testing to generate personalized data and user insights, provide companionship, such as the service given by Comfort Robots, also known as RoboPets. Lastly, we already see a great availability of conversational agents such as AI-powered chatbots. As you know, the focus of my capstone is on the governance, efficiency, and regulation of these tools. So while there is a vast availability of AI chatbots in the market, 4 of the most researched and commonly known are Yoper, Wobot, Wyza, and MoodKit. These chatbots operate by a combination of free and paid subscriptions, and they provide psychoeducation and symptom management strategies such as mood-enhancing activities or journaling. On all of these chatbots, the user is directly conversing with an AI bot that responds to their inputs based on the bot's assessments of the user's language cues. It is important to remark that these interactions occur without the oversight of any mental health professional. As these chatbots have been around for some time now, there is empirical research that shows that these bots are efficient at providing support to those suffering from anxiety, depression, substance abuse, sleep concerns, and stress issues. It is important to mention, however, that there still needs to be more research done with wider audiences and especially on vulnerable populations, as we have yet to gain a broader understanding of how these chatbots interact with children and teens, Indigenous peoples, and members of the LGBTQ+ community. To date, these chatbots generally receive a positive reception from the public and mental health practitioners. For example, 68% of the surveyed Wyza users found the app to be encouraging and helpful. Another study found that the majority of those mental health practitioners surveyed believe that chatbots can help their clients better manage their own mental health and have a positive impact on physical, psychological, and behavioral health outcomes. So AI-powered chatbots are convenient, accessible, available, and affordable. Because of this, chatbots can address certain barriers to mental health care by granting access to care, increasing service availability, reducing wait times and costs. Moreover, they can also address other barriers to care associated with stigma, as they provide the user with anonymity that allows those who would not normally seek mental health support due to a fear of being stigmatized to access care. As you can see, the AI-powered chatbot relevance lies on their ability to tackle some of the barriers faced by those seeking mental health support and providing cost-effective alternatives to mental health care. On the other hand, given the relative novelty and knowledge gaps of this technology, there are concerns regarding the accountability and liability of chatbots, issues that can stem from algorithmic bias, questions about data governance, and concerns about privacy and confidentiality principles. Lastly, another main concern centers around intersectionality and how chatbots will interact with intersectional factors such as gender, language, race, cultural background, socioeconomic status, and sexuality. This is especially relevant to Canada, as we are a country with a large multicultural population. As far as stakeholders, I divided them into 4 groups: governments, institutions and organizations, influencers, and citizens and users. All of these stakeholders are impacted by how chatbots operate and are regulated in Canada. However, citizens and users are the most relevant stakeholder, as they are directly affected by the quality and service that AI-powered chatbots provide. Moreover, they are already using these applications to fill service gaps in our current mental health care system. In Canada, these types of applications are regulated by the Privacy and Consumer Acts, such as the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, PIPED, and its amendment, the Digital Privacy Act. They may also have to comply with the requirements of the medical devices regulations issued by Health Canada. However, whether or not they are overseen by Health Canada depends on their classification and some other technical factors. Much like the technology itself, AI regulation is still quite novel. However, these past couple of years have seen different states making moves towards harder regulatory approaches. For example, the European Union announced their AI Act last year. A revised version of this act is expected to be released in the near future. Brazil's legal framework for AI is now in the hands of the Senate, and if passed, will become law. And China's algorithmic management provisions were enforced at the beginning of March this year. Of these frameworks, only the European Union's AI Act specifically mentions chatbots. In this act, these bots are classified as having limited risk and therefore will not have to conform to any additional legal obligations. In a more hands-off approach, the US, Canada, and the UK have different strategies that seek to guide the use of AI in each country. Specific to AI in healthcare settings, these countries have joined forces and late last year released 10 guiding principles that lay the foundation for developing good machine learning practice. However, the potential harms and complexities stemming from the widespread use of AI, I believe that it is necessary to have stronger regulatory frameworks that can adequately address these concerns and regulate the safe use of AI in healthcare settings. Given the complex nature of both mental health and AI, any policy frameworks that hope to regulate this converging ecosystem must abide by iteration, robustness, and flexibility principles. To this account, I propose the following policy options. First, in order to address knowledge gaps, it is essential to fund and promote empirical research about the impact that AI chatbots have on Canadians and their mental health. This can be done by setting task forces or providing funding to academic institutions across the country where the impact of AI can be assessed. Secondly, given the sensitive nature of mental health information, it is essential to set data ownership frameworks and to establish strong cybersecurity standards that provide users with extra potential and full agency of their information. As my third option, I propose to set liability and accountability frameworks akin to those followed by other mental health professionals, making product and service providers responsible for any harms that result from their negligence or inaccuracies in their content. And lastly, given all the concerns centering this technology, a fourth option is to ban the use of AI-powered chatbots until more information about their use, best practices, and long-term effects is gathered. Based on the literature review and my analysis, I recommend following the option number 2, setting data ownership frameworks and establishing strong cybersecurity standards While a combination of the other policy options is still necessary to oversee and ensure ethical and safe operations, they will take some time to implement. So I believe that option 2 provides a timely response that is conducive to consumer agency and provides the user with the ability to grant meaningful informed consent while protecting their personal information through data ownership frameworks and cybersecurity baselines. So this concludes my presentation. I would like to thank you for your time and attention, and I am open to any questions and feedback.